Everything began when singer K. Michelle casually mentioned Robyn Dixon's name during an interview. The topic was supposed to be about women balancing business and personal life, but in the middle of her conversation, K. Michelle made a sharp comment that no one expected. She laughed lightly and said that Robyn Dixon was nothing more than a hat-selling couch potato. The words sounded small at first, but the way she said it carried weight, and it instantly felt like an insult aimed directly at Robyn's efforts. The phrase quickly spread across social media. Blogs, gossip outlets, and fan pages picked it up within minutes. Headlines popped up everywhere, repeating the same words, and the phrase hat-selling couch potato became a trending hashtag. For many people, it sounded like K. Michelle was mocking Robyn's small business and her lifestyle, painting her as lazy and unimportant. What made it worse was how casually the comment was delivered, as if Robyn didn't deserve to be taken seriously. Fans of both celebrities immediately jumped into the conversation. Some agreed with K. Michelle's boldness, while others felt it was unfair and disrespectful. Overnight, Robyn's name was being discussed all over the internet, not for her work, but for an insult that made her seem powerless. As soon as K. Michelle's words started circulating, the internet exploded with mixed reactions. On Twitter and Instagram, fans quickly chose sides. Some people laughed at the comment, repeating the phrase hat-selling couch potato as if it was a joke. Memes began to flood timelines. Edited pictures of Robyn sitting on a couch surrounded by hats, captions mocking her as if she had no real ambition. For a while, it seemed like everyone was more interested in making fun of her than understanding her reality. But not everyone was against Robyn. Many fans rushed to her defense, pointing out how running a small business, no matter what it is, takes real dedication and effort. They argued that selling hats was still an achievement, especially in an industry where not everyone gets the chance to shine. These supporters reminded people that success comes in many forms, and that belittling someone's work says more about the critic than the person being mocked. Even celebrities and influencers got involved, though not directly. Some posted cryptic tweets about women supporting women, while others shared messages about how hurtful words can affect someone's career. This only fueled speculation that they were hinting at the feud. Entertainment blogs used these posts to build more drama, suggesting that even those who didn't mention names were secretly picking sides. Meanwhile, Robyn's brand began to feel the impact. On her business page, where she sold stylish hats, people started leaving sarcastic comments, mocking her products, and even joking that her store should rename itself the Couch Potato Collection. It was clear that the insult was not just staying online. It was starting to affect her work and her reputation. The situation had turned into more than just a throwaway comment. It had become a full-blown controversy, and the longer Robyn stayed silent, the more people demanded to hear her voice. While the internet buzzed with endless chatter, Robyn Dixon chose not to respond right away. For days, her social media accounts remained quiet. No posts, no statements, and no interviews addressing K. Michelle's insult. Her silence created even more curiosity and fueled speculation among fans and the media. People started to wonder whether she was embarrassed, deeply hurt, or simply ignoring the noise. News outlets took advantage of her quietness, running stories with dramatic headlines like "Robyn hides after K. Michelle's comment" or "Is Robyn Dixon afraid to clap back?" Every hour, new articles appeared, making her silence feel like a bigger story than the insult itself. Talk shows and podcasts also joined the discussion, analyzing her lack of response and debating whether staying quiet was a smart move or a sign of weakness. On social media, fans were split. Some believed Robyn was taking the high road by not lowering herself to respond. They admired her calmness and said she didn't need to prove anything to anyone. But others saw her silence as surrender, suggesting that she had no defense and that K. Michelle's words had struck a painful truth. The pressure kept building. Every new post on Robyn's page, whether personal or business-related, was instantly flooded with comments demanding answers. People tagged her under gossip blogs and interviews, urging her to speak up. The longer she waited, the harder it became to ignore. What started as an insult had now snowballed into a storm that was impossible to escape. Robyn's silence was no longer just silence. It had become the breaking point where everyone waited for her next move. After days of being silent, Robyn Dixon finally reached her breaking point. The pressure had become too every headline, every sarcastic meme, and every cruel comment kept reminding her that the world was watching and waiting. She realized that her silence was being misunderstood. Instead of looking strong, people had begun to assume she was ashamed, or worse, that she agreed with the insult. Robyn decided she couldn't let someone else's words define her. She gathered her thoughts carefully, knowing that whatever she said next would set the tone for how people remembered this moment. It wasn't just about clapping back at K. Michelle. It was about reclaiming her own narrative. So Robyn chose a softer but stronger approach. Rather than lashing out or exchanging insults, she decided to address her audience directly. She prepared a heartfelt message, not to prove herself to critics, but to show her supporters that she valued them and their trust. In her mind, it wasn't about winning a fight. It was about standing up for her work, her dignity, and the effort she had put into building her life. When she finally sat down to speak, her words carried a mix of honesty and vulnerability. She wasn't ready to drag anyone's name through the mud, but she was ready to open up about her journey, her struggles, and the pride she felt in what she had created. This was the moment Robyn knew she had to speak, not because she wanted to, but because staying silent any longer would mean letting others control her story. When Robyn Dixon finally spoke, her tone wasn't defensive or angry, it was heartfelt. In her message, she started by acknowledging the situation directly. She admitted that hearing herself being called a hat-selling couch potato had hurt her deeply, not just as a public figure, but as a woman who worked hard to create something meaningful. She explained that her business was more than just selling hats. It was a symbol of her effort, her creativity, and her independence. Robyn went on to say that if, at any point, she had ever given people the impression that she wasn't serious about her career or her goals, then she was truly sorry. She wasn't apologizing for running her business or for the life she had built. She was apologizing for the misunderstanding, for the way her story had been twisted into something it was not. Her voice carried both pain and strength as she explained that no one sees the late nights, the sacrifices, and the quiet struggles behind the scenes. She also spoke directly to K. Michelle, saying that while the insult stung, she still respected her as an artist and as a woman. Robyn stressed that tearing each other down only added to the negativity that women in the public eye already face. She admitted she wasn't perfect, but she reminded everyone that she was trying her best to balance her personal life, her responsibilities, and her ambitions. By the end of her message, Robyn's vulnerability had touched many people. She didn't fight back with insults or anger. Instead, she revealed a side of herself that was real and relatable. For some, it was a reminder that behind the glamorous image of celebrities, there are human beings with feelings, insecurities, and battles that most never get to see. The moment Robyn Dixon's apology went public, the internet reacted instantly. Comments began pouring in under her post, and people couldn't stop talking about how emotional and raw her words were. For many fans, it was the first time they had seen Robyn open up so honestly, and it created a wave of support. Some called her brave for speaking from the heart, while others said her vulnerability made them respect her even more. But as with any public controversy, not everyone was moved. A section of the internet argued that she didn't need to apologize at all. They felt she gave too much power to K. Michelle's insult. Some critics believed she should have stood firmer, saying her emotional approach made her look weak instead of strong. The debate grew bigger, with people clashing online about whether her message was powerful or unnecessary. Meanwhile, K. Michelle added fuel to the fire by posting a cryptic message on her Instagram story. She didn't mention Robyn's name directly, but her words hinted that she wasn't backing down. This kept the drama alive, leaving fans curious about whether another round of conflict was about to begin. The entire situation became more than just a feud. It turned into a conversation about respect, resilience, and how women in the spotlight deal with criticism. Robyn's apology may not have silenced everyone, but it certainly reminded the world that she was not just a hat seller or a couch potato. She was someone who had the courage to face humiliation, speak her truth, and stand tall in the middle of chaos. Even after Robyn Dixon's emotional apology, the story didn't fade away. In fact, her response only deepened the curiosity around the feud. People wanted to know if K. Michelle would directly address Robyn's message or if she would continue throwing